Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I'm starting my fragrance year wrap-up series, and it will consist of 4 parts. I will share with you my most worn niche fragrances and designer fragrances. Then there will be a video about my unexpected loves of 2020, and the last video in the series will be my best discoveries of this year. And the extra sort of special thing about these videos is that there will be absolutely no repetition of fragrances in these 4 videos. All of the fragrances mentioned will be completely different, so definitely make sure to watch all 4 parts. But today we're starting with part 1, which, as you saw by the title, is about my 10 most worn niche fragrances of this year. And for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, many of these will not come as a surprise because I've spoken about many of these on multiple occasions. So let's start with the first one, which is from the house of XERJOFF. This is, of course, LIRA. This is one of my most favorite fragrances from my collection. This is, of course, a beautiful gourmand. It has blood orange, vanilla. There's also interesting notes of licorice and lavender, which worried me when I first ordered this, which of course I ordered blindly, but I'm really happy that these 2 notes are not very prominent. In fact, I cannot smell them at all. To me, this is a beautiful lemon dessert. Although there is blood orange, to me, I smell more of a lemon. It's just a beautiful lemon pastry, absolutely delicious, with outstanding performance. So I definitely have worn this one a ton this year. Next one is also from the house of XERJOFF, and this is GRAN BALLO, another great discovery. This one is, I guess you can also say a gourmand, but maybe more of a floral gourmand. There is a very prominent note of honeysuckle. There are some other white florals in here. There is vanilla, there is caramel, and what I get most out of this is sort of a caramelized honeysuckle, if there is such a thing. It is somewhat reminiscent of Viva La Juicy from Juicy Couture, but it is definitely a more refined, a more sophisticated, a more grown-up version. But if you do enjoy that type of scent, then you will definitely like this one. And I have to say, performance on this one is probably not as great as in LIRA, but if we're comparing to Viva La Juicy, then it is definitely much, much better. Next on my list is a fragrance that I absolutely had to include here, and this is Dances of the Dragonflies from Nobly 1942. Again, one of my absolute favorites. This is a stunning, buttery apple pie. It has red apples, cinnamon, vanilla. I think there's coconut in here as well, although I don't really get coconut out of this. Overall vibe is just a stunning apple pie. It is so delicious. It is so comforting. It's just such a happy fragrance for me, and very much an easy reach. Whenever I'm not sure what to wear, I always reach for this one. So again, I have been wearing it a ton. A fragrance that I have worn a lot during the spring and summer is from Parfums de Marly, and this is Meliora. This fragrance is all about blackcurrant. There's also other red berries, there is vanilla, some other notes, but to me, this is just an amazingly beautiful and sweet blackcurrant. This is probably, not probably, for sure, my favorite blackcurrant fragrance that I have tried, and I really enjoy the note of blackcurrant. And so this is definitely the best one that I have tried, and I absolutely love wearing it during the warm weather, and I have worn it a lot this year. Next, I have a fragrance that I added to my collection not that long ago. I think it was at the beginning of fall or the end of summer, but ever since I got it, I definitely have worn it a lot and I have enjoyed it a lot. And this was my first purchase from the house of PENHALIGON'S. This is Changing Constance. And this has caramel, cardamom, vanilla, salt. There's also a note of tobacco. And it's just a stunning sweet and slightly salty and slightly smoky type of fragrance. I can definitely smell pretty much most of these notes listed here. There's caramel and vanilla together. There is definitely a bit of smoke from tobacco. There is a bit of spiciness from cardamom, and there is a bit of saltiness from salt. So like I said, all of those major notes are here, and they just create a beautiful blend, a beautiful combination, I think this is an interesting spin on gourmand type of scent. Yes, as I mentioned before, performance on this one is lacking, definitely lacking. It doesn't last very long at all. But since, you know, I am spending most of my time, or pretty much all of my time at home, there are no issues respraying it throughout the day, and so I have been using it a lot. Next on my list is Grape Pearls from the House of Oud. This again was my first purchase from this house, and I absolutely love it and have been wearing it a ton ever since I got it. This fragrance has coffee, rose, vanilla, and then it has a beautiful addition of grapes and blueberries, which makes it very fruity and very sweet, and you have that beautiful combination of kind of coffee, which is not very strong, and then the sweetness and fruitiness from blueberries and grapes. Just outstandingly beautiful fragrance. I especially like it in the colder weather. I think it just opens up beautifully, much more than it does in hot weather. And I have been wearing it so much this fall and really enjoying it, and I'm sure I will continue to use it a lot throughout the winter. A fragrance that absolutely had to be on this list because it's been one of my biggest obsessions this year, and it should not surprise most of you. Of course, this is the beautiful Ani from Nishani. This is really the vanilla scent for me. I can honestly say that this is probably my favorite vanilla. It just so creamy, buttery, smooth, and I absolutely love the initial sort of fresh, and I've heard from some spicy, although I don't find it spicy. For me, it's more like a really fresh burst of ginger and citruses. Absolutely outstanding. There's just some magic in this scent for me, and I absolutely love it and have been using it so much and will continue to use it. I'm sure that this is going to be a staple in my collection for many years to come. Next, I have a fragrance that I have worn a ton this summer. This was one of my absolute favorites for the summer, and this is Virgin Island Water from Creed. This fragrance right away makes me think about a sunny beach, like I'm on a vacation, sitting on the beach, drinking pina colada. It has coconut, sugar, rum, there's lime, ginger in here, and it's just beautifully refreshing, zesty, just stunning fragrance. Again, always puts me in a good mood and just makes me happy and makes me dream about a vacation. So Virgin Island Water is a staple fragrance for me now during the summer. Next, I have a fragrance from the house of TIZIANA Terenzi, and it is Cassiopeia. I think this is the one fragrance. Well, first of all, this is the house that I discovered this year, and I think I have 4 fragrances from this house, but I believe that Cassiopeia is the one that I have worn the most this year. Again, more of a warmer weather fragrance, although I think it can work any time of the year. The most prominent note here is passion fruit, and then there's also tonka, sandalwood, musk, some floral notes, but really it's very sweet, fruity, but at the same time very airy. It's an airy type of gentle type of sweetness. Very beautiful. I enjoy this one so much. The performance is okay. It's not outstanding. It's not terrible. There are other fragrances from this house that perform a little bit better, but I think for a fruity type of scent, the performance is really not bad, and I enjoy the scent so much. Again, this is probably my favorite passion fruit scent that I have tried. Not that I have tried many, but from what I have tried, I would say this one is my favorite. And so that's why I've been using it so much this year. And the last one on my list is a fragrance from CANTO. This is a sister brand to TIZIANA TERENZI. The fragrances are also created by Paolo TERENZI, and it is Lucretia. This scent is very similar, as I mentioned before, to Black Opium. So for those of you that enjoy Black Opium, you will definitely like this scent. We have coffee here, cacao, honeysuckle, vanilla. There is benzoin, cedar, but overall it is quite similar to Black Opium. I always enjoyed that scent, but my problem was always that performance and lasting power on me were just non-existent almost, and that's why I decided to try this scent, because the scent itself is very similar, but performance is much, much better. So again, something that I have been using a lot ever since I got it. I think this fragrance really can be worn any time of the year because it is not too strong, not too powerful that it can work in the summer, but at the same time it is not too light where you can't wear it in a colder weather. So this is a year-round fragrance for me, and again, something that I have been enjoying a ton this year. Now, I also have an honorable mention on my list, and we have this category of private lines. You know, there is the private Lancôme line, Maison Lancôme, there's the Maison Dior, there are private lines in Guerlain, etc. And as always, I struggle figuring out, is this designer or is this niche? And I know that in some of my videos I included them as designer, in some I included as niche, and this time, because it is kind of this gray territory, I decided to include my favorites from private lines of designer houses as honorable mentions. And so on this list I have one honorable mention, and this is from Guerlain, and this is Angelique Noir. I absolutely love this fragrance. The main notes are angelica, pear, vanilla, and cedar, and I would describe it as a green vanilla. Mostly I get vanilla and angelica with a touch of woods and maybe a touch of pear note in here, but mostly it's a green vanilla. To me, it is kind of reminiscent of Nishane Ani. They're in no way the same, in no way dupes, but the type of vanilla that's in here, it kind of reminds me of Ani, and no wonder I like both of them, because I do find them similar. Yes, performance on this one is not great, as it's not great on most of the fragrances from this line, at least the ones that I have tried, but there's just something so special and so sophisticated, and there's just something about this line where typically I care about performance, but for these ones, for some reason, I don't. I just either overspray to start with, or I spray throughout the day, and I just for some reason don't care that it doesn't last for very long. So I have been using it a lot. You can even see here, because I haven't had it for that long, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 months or so, and so I think this is quite a lot considering how many fragrances I have. So Angelique Noir definitely had to be on this list. So that's the end of my most worn niche fragrances of this year. In my next video, I'm going to share with you my most worn designer fragrances. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!